Tonight from the 12 News I-Team, the latest in our ongoing investigation into dangerous heat inside some Arizona prisons. Even though the Department of Corrections stopped answering our questions about overheated prison cells this summer, the I-Team continued to dig, and now they have a better picture of just how dangerous these conditions are inside the women's prison in Goodyear.
The I-Team's Erica Stapleton is here to break down the heat-related medical emergencies that she found, detailed in the department's own reports. Erica?
Yeah, guys, back in July, I requested all the heat-related medical incidents at Perryville Women's Prison in Goodyear that month. It took the department 4 months to produce some of those records and another month and a half for us to read through them all, which is why we're talking about this now in the middle of winter.
People at Perryville Prison.
That's torture.
Falling victim to extreme heat.
It's unacceptable.
Last year, the I-Team uncovered that some cell temperatures at Perryville, the women's prison in Goodyear, got as hot as 109 degrees in July, according to the Corrections Department's own records. Now, new records obtained by the 12 News I-Team raise questions about safety. The department turned over reports from 13 incidents in July 2023, where inmates or employees reported having heat illness symptoms, including dizziness, heat exhaustion, and some losing consciousness. 3 different times, inmates had to be transported out to Abrazo West Hospital for further care. And one time, a corrections employee was sent to the hospital after doing temperature checks. In another case, employees were putting ice in the swamp coolers on the roof and had to stop because they felt unwell. One was sent home. Another time, a corrections employee was sent home after telling a supervisor, "This heat is killing me."
When the state takes away somebody's freedom, it is our obligation to keep them safe. What's happening with these extreme temperatures shows me that the Department of Corrections was not taking people's safety seriously at that time.
State Representative Annalise Ortiz is on the state's Independent Prison Oversight Commission, formed last year.
That includes the guards. People that are working in our prisons should not have to go to a workplace where they may be sent to the hospital because it's too hot.
She's not the only one fired up.
And that can have serious health impacts or potentially even result in death.
I'm not surprised by it, but I'm still horrified that anybody should be asked to live in those kinds of conditions.
Michelle Deitch and Noah Barth are both considered prison system experts. Noah, the prison monitoring director with the Pennsylvania Prison Society.
This is of concern for anybody in custody, but especially anyone who's elderly or immunocompromised or in other ways might be medically vulnerable.
And Michelle, running the Prison and Jail Innovation Lab at the University of Texas at Austin.
You're not going to get staff to want to work in a place where it is that miserable in the summers. They're wearing heavy uniforms. They may be wearing Kevlar vests. They are at risk as well.
Not to mention rehabilitation efforts.
High temperatures create a very high level of tension among people who are incarcerated. It can lead to violence and outbursts and irritability.
About half a dozen prison employees reached out to the I-Team to share heat concerns, but none went on the record for fear of losing their jobs. We also heard from dozens of incarcerated women and their loved ones over the summer, calling conditions unbearable, especially in the areas that had swamp coolers instead of air conditioning.
It's stressful, it's tense, it's hot.
State Prison Director Ryan Thornell did an interview with us in mid-July, before the department released any of their heat records.
The response has been good in terms of urgency, attention.
After our interview, the director went to Perryville to check temperatures for himself. Within days, the complex had misters, free ice, and relaxed rules to help with heat relief. The prison's warden also stepped down, but through the rest of the month, some cells still had triple-digit temperatures.
Those bags of ice are going to melt very quickly in extreme temperatures. I'm happy they took those measures, but we need permanent air conditioning upgrades.
For the past 6 months, the I-Team's requested more than a dozen times to talk with Director Thornell again. But the department's media relations team repeatedly declined and never provided times when he would be available. Thornell previously stated that new ACs for Perryville were in the budget for the end of 2024, after next summer. In an email statement, the department said the HVAC project at Perryville, quote, remains a top priority, and that the contractor, expected to be selected this month, will set the timeline for when new air conditioners will be installed.
Do you have faith the Department of Corrections will be prepared by next summer?
I will say that in the past, I have not had a lot of faith in our Department of Corrections. I am confident that Director Thornell understands the gravity of this situation.
So that comment about Director Thornell having faith in him, that's one we've actually heard before from a lot of people in the prison space, including Governor Katie Hobbs. He was appointed to the job a year ago, and he's had to deal with a lot, including that ongoing healthcare lawsuit, staffing shortages, and of course, the heat is not helping.
Sure.
I bet. Erica, you've reported a lot on Perryville. Do other prisons in the state have these same issues?
Well, the short answer is yes. Perryville was actually not the hottest we found in July 2023. We did request all of the department's heat records for July 2023, and we did get them several months later in a records request. We will break that down tomorrow night on 12 News at 6.
All right,
so
Erica.
Stay tuned.
All right, Erica, thank you.